A question that I've been receiving a lot lately from families is that they have excess savings and funds built up from this past year, year and a half of not doing all the normal activities that they usually do. And so the question is, where can we put these excess funds to get them to work for us? Or what sort of accounts should we be considering and looking at for this extra cash? First off, it's a great position to be in. And this answer is going to change depending on your employment status, your age, and your goals. But the item that I would recommend everyone considers first is looking at your emergency fund or your rainy day savings. The old adage of 3 to 6 months worth of cost of living built up still holds true for most people. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or your income is a little bit less steady, it's no problem to get closer to 12 months, maybe even up to 18 months of cost of living built up. And so you figure out that number by looking at your fixed income or your fixed expenses first. And then in terms of variable expenses, maybe like travel, I'd recommend using a monthly average to get that monthly expense number and then multiplying that by 3, 6, 12, or depending on your situation. Now, after you have enough in emergency fund, then take a look at your upcoming goals. Is there anything in the short term? Maybe something needs to be improved on your house. Maybe you need a new car, a large payment is coming up. Anything within the next 12 months, I'd say up to 24 months, that's going to be a large expense. Likely makes sense to have a cash bucket for that as well, and specifically call it out for that item. Now, once everything in the short term and the emergency fund is taken care of, then you can start considering other types of accounts. You want to make sure you are at least getting the employer match from your workplace retirement account. If one is offered, that would be a 401k or a 403b. And as time goes on, once you are able to, getting closer and closer to maxing out that account. And remember that once you're over age 50, you can make additional excess contributions to bolster your retirement even more. Now, if you don't have an employer-sponsored plan, then you could look at maxing out IRAs, and whether it's a traditional IRA or a Roth, that really depends on your situation. Now, besides that, some other areas to consider, some other accounts. Maxing out your health savings account. Now, a family can contribute up to $7,200 per year into a health savings account. And remember that those are very great tax-advantaged vehicles specifically for medical costs. And there are catch-up contributions in those accounts as well. So take advantage of that, or an FSA, a flexible spending account, if that's what's offered by your employer. Another area to consider is future generations. So additional savings could be a great opportunity to fund that college 529 plan for your kids or maybe a niece or nephew. You could also explore an UTMA, Uniform Transfer to Minors account, as maybe college isn't the route that they want to take. You want to give some more flexibility there. An UTMA or an UGMA, Uniform Gift, could be other avenues to explore. Now, if you're charitably inclined, you could look at a donor-advised fund. That's another vehicle to get a tax break now, but also be able to gift to organizations that you care about. And then there's always the non-retirement brokerage account, taxable account, the same thing where you can put in unlimited funds and just get that cash working for you. Get it invested properly with the diversification that you need to get some additional growth that it's not going to get in a checking and savings account or even a high yield bank account, if you will. Now, the other side of the coin, this was just the accounts to consider, is excess funds, excess money that you have could go toward paying down debt. Would recommend exploring the high interest debt first, usually credit cards that have been built up over time. So that's another avenue to consider. Now, again, there's all these different areas that excess savings and cash can go toward, and it all depends on your own specific situation as to what's going to be the most beneficial. So if you need help figuring out that puzzle for yourself and where to put those funds to get them working for you, reach out, shoot me a message. I'm always happy to help. Take care.